Welcome to BTS Spins FFs. Warning, this FF contains dark theme. Mature content ahead. Jungkook already knew her father was here when he turned back home as he immediately rushed towards his room to meet his wife. Baby, my father's came. Are you okay? Is she did something wrong? He checked her worriedly from head to toe. When who was using her phone lying in bed was too stunned to see his reaction. It's been just a month, and surely he changed a lot. She stared at him, and warm feelings started spreading in her tummy. Sunshine, I'm asking you something. One can see his worried expressions clearly as she felt her cheeks start getting heated up. He cupped her cheeks, and one felt butterflies brushed her skin, leaving tingling feeling. Sweetheart, please speak something. He had a hint of desperation in his voice as one snapped out of her thoughts and gave her attention to him. Yes, she came, and I'm completely fine. Relax. Tell me everything in detail. One sighs as she told him everything happened today. That come on, hands, he growled, his hand as he was ready to storm away in anger, but one somehow managed to control him. Take a deep breath for me, Jungkook. He just stared her as she said a joke. Take a deep breath, Goo, she says again, but strongly this time. His eyes do what she told him. Wait, now give me a hug. She opened her arms. When? Just do it, baby. He do what she told him to. As he snuggled in her nape, wrapping his arms around her waist tightly as he's afraid something will happen to her. And was so tiny in front of his large frame, but her presence soothes him. She rubs his back, and he felt his anger slowly vanishing. You sure you're fine, sunshine? Why not? Still in his embrace, he picked her from the floor as he made his way towards bed, and they both led while cuddling to each other. Cookie, he hums in response. Can I take a pregnancy test? Immediately faced her, and she bit her lips in nervousness. You're on, princess, he reminded her, brushing her hairs from face. I told you you're too young to carry on, so there's no need to think about anything negative, and especially Lila's words. I don't need a title to tell others what I'm capable for, and I'm afraid my fierceness and ruthlessness will be boosted after getting tired of King one size. Okay, fine, as you say. But it's necessary to keep your position. She stops in mid-sentence when Jungkook gives her a mad glare, which immediately makes her shut her mouth. It was true they both got what Jungkook gave her, because even though he's a girl and emotionless person, he was worried for her. He knows she's young and he don't want to strangle her on his world's darkness. Though he was not that selfish, maybe only just for her. They start passing, and one and Jungkook's relationship was getting more strong emotionally. They would start developing strong feelings for each other. One was attending her college regularly. She have freedom of everything, though she just need to pay attention in some little things. Never forget her bodyguards when she's going outside. That's only where he wants from her. Jungkook always drop one, and he's also the one who picked her too. It was another regular day, and it was already time to leave, and one was desperately waiting for Jungkook to pick her. She was going towards the exit when Gray, her ex-BF, stopped her in mid-sentence, making her annoyed. What do you want? I heard you got married. Yes, you heard right. Now please step aside from my way. When tried to pass by him, but he held her arm harshly and jerked her towards him, almost making her wince in pain due to his harsh grip. You were not ready to be mine and fulfill my. No matter how many times I tell you, and here you are telling me you're married. It's not even 6 months till we break up yet, he growled in anger, flinching her. You were such a pathetic as before, when spotted and hated. Can you just understand a simple fact we're over? Whatever between us was past, and my personal and private life have nothing to do with you, she yelled back. His nose flared up more in anger as he raised his hand, but before his hand touched one's cheek, she heard and the next thing Gray was lying on the floor, yelping. And one eyes widened as she faced up towards the direction, only to find her husband coming towards her direction, like a panther stalking his prey. One shiver on her spot to see his dark eyes as a dandelion rushed to her spine to witness his scary look. Eyes. He came towards them like a king, ready to mark his territory, and after spitting a last glance to Wen, he bent down to Ray's level and stared on his face. How you touch my wife, he growled, throwing on his face. How you even think you can? It was continuously, like the person in front of his is. Ray was no more conscious everywhere, but Jungkook wasn't ready to leave. Jungkook, baby, calm down. Cool, leave, please. He's already one backed with tears. Don't stop. You're hurting yourself now. One cried hard while yelling him to stop. He finally worked his gaze towards his wife. His hair was covered with sweat and have stiff expressions on face, but his eyes softened to see her sobbing. He got up as he looked towards her and tried to touch her face, but hesitated, stirring his hands, but instead went jump up in his arms, hugging him so dearly, as her life depends on him, as she sobs hard in his embrace. Everything's fine, sunshine, I'm here. He cooed some calming words, nestling in her hairs. When he felt she relaxed a bit, he immediately scooped her in his arms, making her gasp. But she didn't protest and wrapped her arms around his nape as she snuggled in his neck, hiding from everyone who was staring and whispering things now. He was straight home with her after dropping her home and only went back when he made her sleep. He turned back home at night as it was already 11, but as soon as he opened the door of his room, all senses started and he heard muffled sobs of his wife. He looked round in the room, but she was nowhere inside, and then he saw her in the balcony and immediately went there, a hint of worry visible on his face. When, wifey, what happened, baby? Are you alright? And what are you doing outside and cold? He pulled her and wrapped his arms around her padded figure. Well, she sobs in his shoulder. Sunshine, you had a bad dream. She shakes her head as no, making him frown. Then what's wrong, love? Are you scared of morning incident? He paused, realizing something as he gulped. Do I make you scared, sunshine? From the earlier incident. When stopped crying as he looked up to meet his gaze, he seems nervous, almost hesitant to hear her reply, fearing he might scare her, but instead of replying went snuggled more in his arms, wrapping herself with his warmth. No, it's not that, too. She sniffs, and he let out a sigh of relief as he nuzzled his nose to her cheeks. Then what happened, love? Tell me, or I'll stop crying. When bit her lollip, she have a little feeling that maybe she's pregnant, and the morning sickness and few other symptoms she was feeling from last few days was indicating it too. But she don't know how to tell him. She have intentionally missed her, and it might be true that she is pregnant, and all this point she have no reason to cry too. But she was not able to control her emotions. I don't know why I'm crying. He stared at her with so done look, and in the next instant he picked her in his arms, making her gasp. Let's go. Let's go. What now? You'll know. Just let me know, cool. I'm not in mood of anything nonsense. He sighs. Let's go to eat ice cream. She bouts, already feeling good, hearing the words ice cream. Can we go now? He asked her as she nods, and they both made their way towards ice cream while she was still in his arms. I looked towards him for a brief moment. Oh God, how do he always know what she needs, even though she didn't even tell him? She is feeling a warm feeling in her tummy due to this every action lately as she clings to him more dearly. Another week passed, and one was sure by now she's surely pregnant, as she also went to gynecologist and her prediction went right. and she immediately made her way towards Jungkook's office, desperate to tell him this news. She entered inside, but Jungkook seems unimpressed and surely not in good mood, but might still encourage herself to tell him. "Why are you here?" he asks coldly, making her feel shivers to hear his icy cold, emotionless tone after ages. "I have something important to tell you," she mumbles excitedly, but shyness was also engulfing her words as she bit her lips to suppress her happy smile. "I'm busy, Wayne. I don't have time for your childish acts," he almost growled, flinching her as her face paled instantly. "But it's important, Jungkook. I went to the gynecologist today." When again tried to speak, but he grabbed her arm harshly, almost wincing her in pain. "How many times I need to tell you? We're not having a child yet," he yelled, forgetting he still holds her arm firmly. When I swell up, he was surely angry and not in his senses. In all the time together, it was only a few times when he showed his angry side to her, but not this much. She clutched the papers she was holding tightly as she tried to not cry. Chingu saw her tear eyes and trembling body, and that's when he came back into his senses and immediately left her arm and take a step back. "Baby, listen, I'm not," One cut him off, wiping her eyes as she left envelope on his desks. "If you go back in your senses and got the time, read what's inside." With that saying, she immediately left from there, trying her best to control her emotions. Jingle let out a heavy sigh as soon as she left. He sat back on his seat and placed his head in backrest with closed eyes. He just realized what he actually did. He was trying his best to not show her his real side, but at the end he lashed out his anger on her. Massaging his temples, he sat back and took the envelope she left as soon as he read what's inside. His eyes widened. Grabbing his car keys, he immediately ran outside. He messed up really badly this time. Gwen was continuously crying on her way back home. She wasn't able to hold her emotions as she was so happy after to find out about her pregnancy. But he clutched her heart and ruined her happiness in a second. Instead of going in her shared bedroom, she went to guest room. Everything in that room was full of their memories, and she don't want to go there yet. It will only hurt her more. Jungkook came back as he checked his room only to find Wan nowhere inside. His heart started beating more faster, making all possible negative scenarios, but thankfully May told him she's in guest room, and he immediately rushed towards there as he sat in the lift to see her. She was lying on bed, her face behind buried in pillow. When she heard door open, she see him. "Baby," he said softly to get her attention, but she didn't budge to move. "When listen, I'm sorry. I was not in my senses that time. I was already angry, and when you came, I got more hype up and lashed it out on you without thinking about it. I'm sorry, sunshine." One sobs more, maintaining a far away distance from him. "Sunshine, please stop crying. I'm really sorry. I promise it will never happen again." One looks up as she stared him with her wet lashes. He just got to know about her pregnancy, and she was so excited to tell her husband about it, but the way he lashed out made her regret her decision and upset her more. "Do you see the envelope?" The voice of his words came out of her lips. He nods, still holding that envelope in his hand. "I did," one chuckled, making him frown. "So what do you decide you want?" "Don't worry, I'll meet with my doctor tomorrow," and Jung's eyes widened in shock. Why didn't mean she didn't let him talk. "Even better, let's get divorced. I'll raise my baby my own self." She sniffs and more tears trail down her eyes. She was trying to be confident and unbothered, but the words itself made her internally. His eyes widened in shock. He thinks as roof fell on his head, and he may by the weight of her words. He never fell for anyone. That's why he never got into a serious relationship, and he never cared or respected anyone after his mother. One was peeling his soft mask slowly that he had covered with his heartlessness and cruel nature. He was falling for her, maybe already in love with her. Even though she was a mafia princess and raised in this cruel world, but her parents always take care of her with gentleness and affection. And he also had to take care of her politely and gently. He do care for her from the start because she's not like any other woman he have been before. She was raised with politeness and gentleness. He stumbled on his feet. He never imagined he would ever hear those words from her lips, and even words, it's just been 2 months in their relationship. When he stammered almost incoherently, how could you say all these things? Does this time we spent together was nothing for you? Do you think I don't want a family with you? And that's why you said all these things were on a second thought. Don't you know me enough? A tear slid down his cheek. It was the first time when she saw tears in his eyes, and she had heard rumors he last cried when his mother's. Her eyes widened, and she immediately strolled towards him and hugged him without any second thought. That's how I feel when you said all those words to me a few hours ago, back in your office. She mumbled almost incoherently, but it was audible enough for him as they were so close to each other. It took him a few seconds to process her words. I was not in my senses, sunshine, and as soon as I realized the street came back home. What does he mean by earlier? Is it mean you're not leaving? She did paw down his lips and then bought cheeks softly, with tears were rolling from his eyes. Never, I will never leave you, baby. I was also mad and said all those things without any second thought. She pouts, and he let out a sigh of relief with a chuckle, as he tightened his hold on her waist more firmly yet protectively. I never want to hurt you by my words, love. I do want my own family with you, and Brill was just worried for your health, and moreover is a huge responsibility. I know your first intention was to keep my position, but I don't want it, sunshine. I want my family with you, but when you're ready, physically, mentally, and emotionally. He says all these words, staring deep in her eyes. She wraps her arms around his neck and smiles. I'm ready, Jungkook. If it's with you, I'm ready to hold your hand and walk in our path if it meant I have to walk with you. She chirped with a smile to assure him. He cupped her cheeks, the hand still holding her as he forward. It was not a caress, it was soft, gestured, but the effect was same as full session. Sparks consumed her skin and heat in her stomach flared to life. Soft, but he was pouring all his all love and emotions in it, telling her how important is she for him. Don't say those words again, sunshine. I can't live without you. I don't have anyone in my life whom I care except you. I want to live again, sunshine. I want to give you whole world. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I was not supposed to say those words, but it just came out before I think I was also mad, but I promise I would never say or repeat them ever again. She bowed, showing him her doe eyes and her chuckles on her cuteness, and peppered her whole face with butterfly, making her giggles on his sudden act. Jungkook, giggling. What are you doing? Thanking you to make me father. She blushed. Thank you so much, sunshine, to come in my life and made it like a sunshine. Thanks to be mine. Thanks to make me father. Leave Stuppy on her neck, making her chuckles and blushy more. I love you. I don't know when it happens, but it did. This time when, passionately and leaving kiss, she joins her forehead with him. She is no more on the floor, and her feet was almost hanging in air, and he was holding her possessively. I love you too, Cookie, and thanks to you too to let me in your space and chin yourself for me. Her cheeks was beetroot while he was just staring her deeply. It's always you, sunshine. I always wants to be with you, and only you. He smiles at her tent. Why and Jungkook have two healthy twins, a girl and a boy, and Jungkook also got his permanent authority of being a rival Mafia King's position. And the first thing Jungkook did after having his kids is father and stepmom. They were never his well-wishers. Is it genuinely forced Jungkook to get married with Wyan just because he knows she is young? And both Jungkook and Wyan will never get along due to his icy cold and ruthless nature. And even though if they got along and she got pregnant, she surely have complications during pregnancy and will never able to give them or within a year, and therefore Jungkook won't get King's position. He never wants Jungkook to become king, but that was not the only reason for Jungkook to his father. Not only he destroyed his childhood and by making him a heartless monster, but he also took his mother from him. The only happiness of his life, but the things didn't end here, even when she was pregnant. It was the end of his patience. He had a single person for whom he cares now, and he was ready to go through any means just to protect her. He can before, but he waited for the right time and not just only snatch inspiration from him, but also his. That's not fair, Ryan. He went like a kid. What happened now? She rolls her eyes, not paying much attention because it's his everyday's drama. See again, you're not paying attention to me at all. You only gave attention to our babies when glare at him. Their kids can cook, they need my attention. So stop winning now. When warn him. But he's the most stubborn person she ever met in her entire life. Let's. He showed his funny smile to her. She blushed, but don't let him know. Kids are not asleep yet, go. Those little devils never want to see me happy. He groans and when clear him warningly. Don't stare at me like that. I'm not lying. And it's also true you only give your attention to them and totally forget you have a husband as well. One sighs as she lay her baby girl whom she was cradling on bed and sighed as she said, have some patience. Good things take some time. Some time? I'm waiting for 2 years now. My time didn't came yet when narrowed her eyes. We just 2 days ago. It's not my fault if you got destroyed me. She smirks with blushed cheeks and he wraps his arm around her waist, pulling her more closer towards him. If you know, then why don't you? When stop him, just wait for a few minutes till I make it safe. Mafia, and after that, you'll always he smiles with a nod, agreeing. Though their love and respect never ended for each other till now, and they know it will last forever. The end. Thanks for watching, everyone.